Alrighty, folks, we have no idea where the 30-year mortgage rate is going. So I want to do a mental exercise with my good friend Jonathan here from Convoy Home Loans. And we're going to play the what if game. We're actually going to do it two different ways. The first way is what happens if the 30-year mortgage rates for home buyers hit 8%? And he doesn't know this yet, but we're also going to do one, what happens if mortgage rates hit 4.99? We're just going to cover both of those because I think what you'll need to understand is the market will react to either extreme scenario. So, Jonathan, I would argue today that 8% mortgage rates and 4.99 are both extreme, but I think both are possible. So let's start with the high end. What do you think the market does? What do you think lenders do? What do you think Wall Street does if the 30-year mortgage rate, again, I am talking 30-year owner-occ, best credit, all of that is 8%. So most rates are going to be higher than that. So what happens if that comes to be?
The world's over. It's done.
It's over. It's done.
Yeah, it's
Cut
over.
it off.
No, I mean, this isn't too far. It's not even a hypothetical because, again, we talked about it before, but think like 2 years ago, we were writing in the eights. So
yeah,
this is not
October of 23. I think we're in the eights.
Yeah, this is not like an unknown situation. What happened at that point in time, right, was a lot of the lenders, a lot of Wall Street, and this is where the 2-to-1 buy down and the 3-to-1 buy downs for primary owner occupied, like those things became very popular and rolled out during that time to allow buyers to get, introductory rates that are lower, credits a little lower, and try to make the loan products a little more a wider range so that more people can take advantage of it. And I think that that'll happen again, right? We've already kind of been in the 3-2-1 market, the temporary buy down market, buy it down, or get seller credits to do permanent buy downs. Like we're going to see more of that, but we're probably going to see a different product rollout that allows for payments to be lower and allow for more buyers to still take advantage of the market because they're not going to let housing freeze in the way of be dead, right? So we were talking about, I mean, just think about 2 years ago. Was it a year ago or 2 years ago? They started talking about 40-year fixed mortgages that
exactly.
The conventional was Fannie and Freddie were entertaining and FHA was entertaining. Everyone's freaking out about it, but again, like that stuff happens because they see a problem occurring with the market. And so they're probably going to react with some type of product that tries to bring, demand back into the picture.
Yeah, it's funny. When I think about 8% mortgage rates for home buyers, it probably means investors are at or above 9, right?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be real. And it's funny sitting here thinking about that. First and foremost, I would love rates at 9 or 10% because that just means demand disappears. But that's a selfish want. The other thing I think about is I'm at the end of my investing journey. And I mean, if we have mortgage rates at 8, investor loans at 9, I'm going to guess private money's at 12 or 13. Maybe I should just become a lender, right? Maybe I should take my 7 figures and just become a lender. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? Because that at that point, that would give a better return than even real estate, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, do some short-term flip money deals. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the chances of them, are they going to be able to sell or exit right on the back end? Are you going to have to go through the headache of foreclosing, right?
Yeah.
That's always the.
You mean there's no free money, Jonathan? Come on.
That's always the thing.
Stop bursting my bubble.
But I think with investors, that is going to be, like you said, a very opportunistic time, I think, more than now. And if anything, everyone's going to look back to today and be like, shoot, I should have bought more when rates were at 6%, right? Like it's always going to be a little bit of that. And, it might sound crazy, but at 8%, I mean, is it unlikely entirely that perhaps for a short period of time, while it's inching up to 8, we might see more people flood into the market trying to catch it before it shoots up higher, right?
Yeah, mom and dad have proved historically that the only time they're going to jump into the market, or not the only time, generally speaking, when they think rates are going up, some people will fly off the sidelines. Absolutely. Because they'll take 6.9 because they don't want 7.1. It's just human nature. The other thing I was just thinking about, because again, I was seriously, during this conversation, wow, if they're 8, I could get 12. But if we step back and look at Wall Street, I think it's fair to say, is a greedy, profit driven engine, right? And that's not a bad thing. That's just who they are. And the first thing I thought about at 8% mortgage rates is they already have a pile of capital ready to lend. And I think you nailed it. They will get more creative. 3-2-1, 10-year IO, 30-year fix. They would just lean into new and different products. But the other thing I thought about is if rates stayed above 8% for a longer duration, I'm going to guess that pile of capital grows. Because again, that's a pretty juicy return. So you're going to get Wall Street uber aggressive on creating products to invigorate the market, don't you think?
Absolutely. And they've seen this before, right? And
Yeah.
it hasn't been that long since they've seen this. So they know that if they hold paper at 8 and all of a sudden they hold it for long enough, let's say, then at a certain point when rates do come down, they're going to make an extremely fat spread
Yeah.
on that paper. And if they do that, I mean, the profit just keeps churning, right? We're going to see better earnings calls for all these hedge funds that are way more liquid now because they just offloaded some paper at a certain higher rate that now the market's paying like quadruple what it was when they actually wrote the note. So
Yeah.
we're definitely going to see more of that. I think what we might see more of too is if rates go to 8, we might see leverage start to increase, right?
I agree. Yeah.
We might see people and Wall Street itself, we might see them try to leverage more for everything to try to
Oh, dude,
take
here's a
advantage of
call.
the market.
I bet seconds. I mean, seconds are already a pretty big deal today. They might go nuclear.
Yeah.
Because again, if we're talking 8% first, you got to be talking about 10% seconds.
Hmm.
They'd go nuclear.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's flip the script. 8% is fun. Again, as an investor, I would love it. I'd love mortgage rates to be 10% because I'd go hunting. But let's flip the script and say magically, whiz bang boom, Trump's right. Mortgage rates are 4.99. Again, owner occ, first time home buyer, all of that. So maybe investor loans are 5.5. What the heck happens then? Do you think Wall Street just pulls back because that rate's too low?
I mean, we've seen this too, right?
Yes, we
For
have.
like little like snippets, right? Obviously, the snippets of being at that 499 have been a lot smaller than the snippets of being in the sevens and eights. But
Sure.
I mean, it was a flood in the market, right? Listings that were sitting stale for months all of a sudden got 20 offers. And like that's what happened when rates were down. Now, what Wall Street is probably going to do is they're going to hate it because all the paper they
Yes.
wrote in the short term now is worth less. And now they're going
Correct.
to have to pay to close these and fund these deals. So they might actually pull back, right?
No, this is exactly what I was thinking. If rates fell fast, Wall Street will be offsides,
Hmm.
right? And the other thing you talked about purchases. My brain doesn't even go to purchases. My brain goes to refinances. We've had essentially 3 years where there's only been a couple of windows where you could refi. There's got to be millions of loans that would step up to be refied at 4.99 now. And maybe if you're at 4.99 average, it means you probably could buy down to 4.5 pretty easily. Dude, that your refi business would explode, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to the same 2021 type
Just
action.
machine. Yeah. Just like
Yeah.
we got to go hire a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the biggest danger to that is valuations,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
So I think the reason I brought up purchases is because that is what's going to drive values to
Oh,
for the people
just
for the ability to refinance, right?
correct. Yeah.
So like there's always like people are always trying to use the idea, like realtors try to do this a lot, like just it's okay if you buy it at a higher rate, just obviously date the rate later on you
Yeah.
can
I hate
refi.
that. But yeah.
But
Yeah.
but their assumption is if the rates come down, values are going to come up, right? And I
Mhm.
think from it's the per pocket of the country, some might go up, some might go, sideways and stay flat. But
Mhm.
in general, like we've seen it happen, the little
Mhm.
snippets of 5%, 499, like that little pocket that has it, like prices, people were starting to get aggressive.
Yeah.
So if that is kind of the breaker, right, that
Mhm.
is keeping people kind of from going you know, balls to the wall. I'm gonna
Mm,
pay whatever I can for this. And remember, primary homeowners are going to be willing to pay a lot more than
yeah,
investors will be for a
correct,
home, right? Because
correct.
they don't
Yeah,
care whether they lose money in the short term. So now you're going to be seeing inflated values. Wall Street in the interim is probably going to do a full step back and say, you know what, we're just going to put a pause really quick until
yeah.
we can
They're going to
offload
take
this
some big
paper.
losses. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
And then we'll see how that affects the rest of the products, because if Wall Street they hate losing, by the way, right?
yeah,
They
exactly.
Yeah,
They don't like
they
that.
hate losing. So once they start losing, what products do we lose, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a
Because
great call.
that
Yeah,
that's my assumption, because what we've been talking about, especially DSCR now, has become so institutionalized. When we first started talking about it, it was not, right?
yeah. No, I agree. 5 years
At
ago.
all.
Yeah.
But now it's so institutionalized. The difference is, okay, what happens when all those loans that were in DSCR all of a sudden try to refi at a lower rate, right? Is
Hmm.
that product still going to be there? Are
Yeah.
the non-QM products still going to be there, ready to go, because Wall Street doesn't want to lose all that money?
Yeah. No, I
So I
love
think
that.
the products will start rolling back.
No, I agree. It's really it's kind of a conundrum. At 8%, Wall Street gets more aggressive and creates more products. At 4.99, they pull back because they have to lick their wounds.
Hmm.
The last thing I'll say about 4.99 is the move up buyer would reinvigorate the market. And real estate agents are going to like 4.99 a lot more than 8%. Let's just get that on the record. Well, we're actually at neither. And right now, I do think the market, Wall Street again, is getting more and more aggressive because rates have been trending higher and demand for lending has been falling. If you look at the weekly mortgage data, so what does Wall Street do? Well, they create more products. So you just told me about a new product with 85% LTV. What the heck is going on? They're pushing on LTV now?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of counterintuitive, because before, in the past, they've always restricted on LTV first.
Of course. It's
Yeah, but now,
more
I
skin
mean,
in the game, right? Yeah.
85% loan to value, and this is specifically for DSCR purchases, has been around, but rates have always been like in the sevens, or you've kind of taken a
Yeah.
hit on that. Now there's a pocket. The minimum loan amount is 250.
So big
Okay.
loan.
So bigger loan. Yeah, bigger
Bigger, yeah.
loan.
Right.
Um, but, and again, loan amount, not purchase price. So $250,000 loan amount, not purchase price. However, now at 85% loan to value, so that's 15% down. If it debt
Mm.
covers, right, meaning obviously the rents are greater than the actual payment, including tax and insurance, the par rate, which is without buying it down, is 6.875.
Now, just so I'm clear, DSCR of a 1 is good enough?
Correct. Correct.
Wow. Not
Yeah.
even 1, just a 1.
Hmm. Just a one,
That is
which,
aggressive.
one rental at a time family. We don't want to be just at one
No,
at
we don't want to be 1.
85%. At 85% loan to value, we do not want to be just at one.
That's
But
scary.
the minimum is there at one.
Yeah,
If you have a tenant that's transitioning out and you're going to make, improvements to the property, build
sure.
that equity there, then yes. This is great for obviously people that are trying to buy properties that have existing tenants that are paying
Sure.
less,
That's
or
true.
if
Good
you
idea.
have
Yeah.
a current property that you're buying below market value. So you buy it at 85% because you know that you did the work, and as soon
Mm.
as you buy it, next day it's already going to be worth 30% higher, 20% higher. And so
Yep.
you have that baked in equity, and you get to buy that property for 15% down and beautifully cash flow on it. No
Phew.
brainer, right? I would
Yeah.
say that is where this product succeeds for a lot of people. But that is 6.875, and then it wasn't even crazy if you got the seller to pay your points to buy it down. 6.375 was only like 2 points. So,
Wow.
I mean,
Crazy.
it's like 0.5%. So is it worth paying it? But if the seller's paying for it,
Yeah,
why
why not?
not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's just another option for buyers, again, especially for the one rental at a time family. Like, make sure that you're doing the work there, so you're building that equity.
Correct.
Don't take this as like a sign for you to buy properties with 15% down, only putting minimum,
No.
because that's all you have. Like, that's not the way that you want to approach this. This
Yeah.
is
This is not
another
permission to
tool.
do something stupid.
Yeah, this is just another tool to allow
Yeah.
you to expand your investing chamber of bullets, if you may, right?
There
That's
you go.
that's kind of what it is for. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that. Again, the thing I love about you and your partner being on the channel is you guys are always bringing us new and different things. Because again, the Wall Street wants to do business. Wall Street sees the lending market drying up or getting harder, so they're getting more creative. I'm always shocked that you guys can bring us new products each and every week. If somebody wanted to reach out to you specifically or your partner Dustin, what should they do?
Go to convoyhomeloans.com and slash ORAT, and just let us know you came from there.
Yeah, folks. Again, he has created a web page for the ORAT family. Go there, tell them you came from ORAT, which they will, and then you will get this fine gentleman or his partner, Dustin. He takes care of us. Thanks, man. Have a good week.
Thank you, too.